guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's video is going to be a video with a kind of topic that I wouldn't normally put in my channel, but I find it necessary to talk about these topics due to the climate we're in here in the United States. I try to keep my channel to be an uplifting, happy family channel, but I feel that now this is a very important topic that cannot be ignored. And I know that a lot of you that follow me are families that also live here in the United States, and I know this is something that worries you and something you think about now on a daily probably. And so I want to talk about the shootings that have been going on, and how we, as maybe a mom who's watching me, or maybe a dad who's watching me, how we can make a difference. We can't change what happens in the world. Unfortunately, we can't change everything that happens in the world with the blink of an eye. Everything that's been going on, I'd like to think has been cooking for a while. And so the only thing we can do at this point is come together and think about ways that we can make this world a better place for our children. This topic touches me deeply. It hasn't affected me directly with a loved one, but it affects me because I have children that are very small now, and I want them to live in a world peacefully. I am not gonna cry. I don't know, I just get very emotional with all this stuff that's going on, because I just want I want the world to be a better place for my children when they grow up. And I like to keep an optimistic mind. And I truly believe, guys, that there is more good than bad in the world. However, bad is louder. You know, when people are disturbed mentally and are not okay mentally, they are going to be louder. And we cannot allow that to poison our mind, or to make trick our minds into thinking that there is no good in the world. So there is good. There is a lot of good people in the world. The only difference is that bad and evil is louder than good on many times. For instance, in the media loves to just talk about the negative things that are going on. Why? Ratings. We're always attracted to seeing what is it that's going on. And we always want to know more, and we have so much information coming from all different types of places that we didn't have before, that it's quite overwhelming. And I know that a lot of you moms and dads can relate to this feeling of hopelessness, of feeling like, oh my God, we're doomed. And I truly don't believe that we are. I just do believe that we have a lot to work on, and this is a new era. And some of the ways that I believe we can help each other are, I've written them down because I don't want to lose any points. These are just things that I was just randomly thinking about. How can we make this world a better place? How can we come together, and how can we make a difference within our family? Because everything starts in our families, whether we believe that we have a great impact or not. Every little small thing, for as small as you may think it is, it makes a huge impact in the world. Unfortunately, sometimes we have no control over what happens in the government. We can fight and we can root for what we believe in, but sometimes there are things and situations that we cannot control, and we just have no control over. So we just need to focus on what is it that we can do as a community. What is it that we can do to make a difference in our kids' lives, to make a difference for future generations? Because we have to be honest, some of these issues are not due to government. Some of these issues come from home. Some of these issues come from us. Some of these issues are things that we have to address, and the government is not going to solve all the problems for us. The government isn't going to do everything for us. We need to take full responsibility for some of the things that are happening today in our world. Another point I want to make is I don't care what political party you belong to. At this point, it shouldn't even matter. All we want is peace. I don't care whether you're a liberal. I don't care whether you're a Republican. I don't care. We should all want one thing, and it is peace and a better future for our kids, period. So the first thing I would like to say can make a huge difference and an impact in the world is show your kids love. I know this sounds ridiculous, and to a lot of you, you might be listening to this and you might be saying, of course I'm going to show my kids love. But we are living in a time where a lot of us are disconnected. We're not in the present moment. We spend too much time in front of our phones, and we don't dedicate enough time to our kids. And that is a problem. That is a problem that we need to recognize we are having as a society. We need to recognize that we need to show our kids love, to show them respect, to keep instilling those values that were taught to us when we were children. We need to make sure that those key points are taught in our home. We don't leave it up to the schools. We don't leave it up to the babysitters. We don't leave it up to daycares. We don't leave it up to strangers out in the street. No, we enforce that in our homes. And that is a great start, because whatever you teach your child at home, they will bring to school. Also, time as a family is very important. It's very important to put this down. Sometimes we're outside having a good time with our family, and for instance, I have a YouTube channel. And although we bring out our cameras to bring you guys on our journey at times, there's plenty of other times that we don't pull out our camera. And we want to just be fully present for our kids, for ourselves, and enjoy the present moment without this. This could be your friends and it could be your enemy. It is absolutely beautiful to be able to take pictures of your kids whenever something is going on. Pull out your phone, take a quick picture. You don't have to post it in that same instance. Give yourself some time. Take the picture, put the phone down. Spend time with your kids and be present. Another key point that we have to pay attention to as a society is pay attention to your kids' behaviors. Stop being so stuck on your own life and on everything that's going on internally in here, and pay attention to your kids and what is going on in their mind and their change in behavior. Make sure that you address all of these changes. Make sure that you speak to them. What is bothering you? Also, if you see another kid, your child's friend for instance, who's acting a little funny, maybe get closer to his mom. Maybe she's going through some things. We need to come together as a community. I think this generation has this notion and this sense that we don't need anybody. A lot of us have gotten into that mentality. I don't need friends. I don't need that. I don't need this. Yes, we do. We need to work together if we want this world to be a better place. We do need each other. I remember growing up as a kid, my mom still to this day is that kind of person. She doesn't feel shame in knocking the door of the neighbor, asking for a favor, and just getting close to your neighbors. I feel like my generation, I'm 29 years old, we kind of don't want to do that. We kind of don't want to bother or just keep our distance unless, you know, we for some reason become close through school or work. We don't want to interact with each other. We don't want to have really close friends, or we have friends and we say we're friends, but we really aren't acting as though we are. And I think that is very, very important. As I've heard before, it doesn't just take one person to raise a child. It takes a whole community to raise a child. Raising a child is a big task for you to take on your own. It's okay to ask for help, to take help. Don't take advantage of it, because this is your child we're talking about. But it's okay to understand that as a community, we need to raise our children with values and morals, and we cannot lose that. I think another great key point that we need to address right now is video games. Whether you like to believe that they influence your child in a positive or negative way is your opinion. However, I personally feel that if you are not in the right state of mind, if your child is growing up in a family that it doesn't have any kind of unity, and they're growing up with this mentality of loneliness and embracing the world by him or herself, and thinking that the world is a cold place, that the world is nasty, is mean, that has a negative impact on your child. And then on top of that, if they're spending hours playing violent video games, again, if the child who's playing this game is not okay mentally, it has a negative impact on your child. Please refrain your kid from playing hours in and hours out violent video games. There are so many games out there right now that kids can play that don't have to be violent. Now, I'm not saying that he is banned from it and he can't ever play. But there needs to be a control, and you need to watch what is it that attracts your child to these games. Sometimes it's a pure game. It's just a fantasy, it's just a game, what it should be. But then again, if your child isn't in the right mindset, even adults, this can be something that's very deteriorating for them mentally and can lead to unfortunate situations. Bottom line is, our youth and our children that are growing up need help. They need hope. Our youth needs hope. The message that I get from all of these shootings that's been going on is that these young adults that are growing up are hopeless. They think about the world in such a negative way that they believe it's okay to go out there and kill innocent families and people based on their absurd ideas, on their ignorance, based on what they've been taught, based on what they think they know about the world. And the only way to be able to stop this for future generations is for you and I to come together as family that we all are. Make sure that we're teaching our kids values, respect, that we're showing them love, and that we are teaching them the way of God. God is love. I don't know what you believe in. I believe in God. I'm Catholic, and I want my children to live that lifestyle. I want them to believe in the Lord. I want them to act as the Lord would like them to act. I want them to treat people as the Lord would treat people. And whatever it is that you believe in, whatever the name for your God is, I truly believe we all need something to believe in. We all need that essence. And let's not forget to teach that to our children. Because I can speak by experience for myself as growing up and getting into adulthood. There was a lot of times that were rough for me, especially becoming a new mom and everything that comes with adulthood. If I had not been taught my faith, if I was not a believer, there's so many things that could have happened. Still to this day, so many things that could have happened in my life. But because I have faith and I have God in my heart, I know right from wrong, and I know how to treat others, and I know what's acceptable for me and what is not acceptable. And so I think it's very important that we also incorporate faith to our children. I know for myself, I try my hardest to always speak to my kids about God and to make them understand that we need to be thankful, that everything that we receive in life, we need to be thankful to the Lord that we've gotten that. Again, whatever it is that you believe in, just the root needs to be love. And it's just, for me personally, God changes everything. God changes everything. We can be in an episode of depression, anxiety, and when we seek Him, everything changes. Everything changes. I can speak from personal experience because I myself suffer from anxiety. I've I've been able, I've learned to manage it well, and to not let it beat me, and understand what it is. But every time that I am in a time where I feel like nothing is worth anything, because once my anxiety gets out of control, I can end up depressed. And so I'm not like a depressed person per se, but my anxiety can lead to my depression based on the fact that I'm not feeling myself. I'm not feeling well enough. And so that leads me into feeling depressed. But I haven't let it take control of me. And the reason why it hasn't taken control of me is because I have God deep down in my heart. And so anytime that I feel like I'm spiraling out of control, I listen to stuff online. I mean, we have it so easy nowadays. We have so much information on the internet, yet we have to be careful what it is that we're paying attention to, because there's bad as well as there is good. And so when I'm feeling that way, I resort to listening to people that can speak to me about God and the Word of God, and can remind me what the Bible says and what the Lord has left and written for us to follow. This was our guide, and for some reason, some of us have forgotten that guide. Some of us have forgotten that we cannot do everything ourselves, that we need Him. I think that is the biggest message we can take from this. Sometimes we believe that we can do things ourselves without the help of God, and we cannot. We cannot. I am a firm believer of this. At the end of the road, when you achieve everything you want to achieve, and you say, well, I achieved it because of me, it was my will that got me. Yes, of course you need to have that courage, to have that will, to have that push, to push yourself. Yes, you do. But God helps you every step of the way. But when you don't have God and you do things just based on yourself, at the end of the road, you will still feel this emptiness. You will still feel this emptiness that only God can fill. You can have everything in the world. You can be okay financially, have the best job in the world, have a wonderful husband, have wonderful kids. But if you don't seek Him, and if you don't fulfill your faith, your void, that void that we all need to be filled by God, you will end up feeling lost, no matter what it is that you have material-wise. Okay, I think I've gone rambling way too long now, but to close this off, I just want to say we need to come together as a huge community all around the world, because I know there's other problems going on in other parts of the world, but this is a problem that's affecting the United States right now. And the only thing we can do is come together, raise our children how we were raised. Hopefully you were raised with values. I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you were. Let's not forget what our parents taught us. Let's not forget where we came from and how we've grown as a country, and how the world has grown. Let's not forget the past, and let's not ever go backwards. It's time to move forward. It's time to be optimistic, and it's time for love. And of course, there's so much more that we can do, but these are just a couple of things that we can do to make a difference. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave me your comments down below. I know this was a very random, not the kind of video that we usually post on our channel, but this was called for. Again, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below, please. I would like to know your thoughts on this situation and whether you agree on what I'm saying. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.